Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today our topic is data flow diagram. In the process of development of software, different diagrams are made. Why they are made? Because uh, just to represent the steps behind the whole development process, right? So that it will be more convenient for the developer or the team to develop a software. So, what is data flow diagram? Data flow diagram, basic purpose of data flow diagram is that it tells us that how data is flowing from one subsystem to another, right? So what is DFT? DFT basically gives you an overview of your system, that how many subsystems are there and how data is flowing between different subsystems of your whole system or software, right? So DFT is the graphical representation of flow of data from one component to another component in any information system. In any software, the graphical representation of flow of data from one part to another, that is called as data flow diagram. Next is symbols of DFT. What are the symbols that are used in DFT diagram? They are four. There are four symbols in DFT. One is used for process, another is used for data store, next one is external entity, and another one is data flow. So for the process, to show the process that is going on from one component to another, this symbol is used. Either an oval shape, this symbol is used, or this symbol is used for process. You can use either this or this, right? The sides of the rectangle are curved and there is one line inside the rectangle, right? These two are the symbol for process. Next is data store. If you want to show that how and where your data is stored, if you want to show about that where data is stored in the whole process from one step to another, you will show it in the form of this by using this data store symbol, right? It is an sort of incomplete rectangle, right? Next symbol is external entity. External entity is any actor, system, or any other user or any other person, right? Means the person who is working on that process, right? That will be external entity, and it is represented simply by a rectangle, right? External entities may include actors, users, or developers, different stakeholders, and it may include your system, that your system is processing something and giving you output. Your system is working on something, so your system will be then external entity, right? Next is data flow. How you will show the flow of data from one component to another by the help of arrow, right? What are the rules for DFT? There are few rules for DFT that must have to follow. That there, if you are mentioning a process, then a process must have some kind of input and then output. Obviously, whenever a process take place, you give some input to it, and as a result, that process transform it into output. You can take an example of your computer, like you give it input through keyboard and it gives you output on the screen, right? So that is the process, right? So similarly, in case of DFT, if you are showing any process, then that process must include an input as well as output. at least one input must be there, at least one output must be there, right? And when you say that data is stored, then that data must go through a process. Means after a process is completed, after the completion of process, your data is stored somewhere, right? And processes may go to another data store, or processes be may act as an input for other process, right? We will discuss all of these things in examples, right? Means if you are working on one process, if your one process take place from one component to another, so it might be possible that that process may act as an input for the other process, and then that process remains continue. So it, and then it might be possible that that process will be completed over there, and that will uh, the data will be stored in data store. Both are the possibilities, right? So these are the few rules for DFT. Just read these points, right? Next is the difference between DFT and flowchart. DFT is data flow diagram and flowchart is something else. Like flowchart represent the flow of different step by step processes, right? While DFD also tells you about the processes working in parallel. Okay, so now we will uh, discuss about that what is the difference between DFD and flowchart. In case of DFD, the processes are on the data flow are operating in can operate in parallel. Means if we talk about DFT, it means we are discussing about those processes also which are not only sequential but the processes working in parallel. Means at a time अगर multiple processes work out कर रहे हैं, multiple processes are operating at a time, right? Then DFD will be used to show those processes. Okay, in this case, flowchart cannot work because flowchart is only used for sequential process, step by step processes, right? Sequentially जो आपके पास different processes operate हो रहे होते हैं, flowchart उनको show करता है कि first step में ये हुआ, second में ये हुआ, then next में ये हुआ. But DFT will represent as a whole all the processes, either they are sequential or they are parallel. If few processes are working operating at a time, then DFT will be used to show those processes. Another point of DFT and flowchart is that looping and branching are typically not shown. Means in case of DFT, there is no loop that is shown in DFT, and there is no branching. Like there are no control structures, and there are no decisions like either this statement is true or false. If yes, then do this. If no, then do this, etc. And there is no looping in case of DFT, right? As you have seen that there were no loops discussed over here in case of samples of DFT, right? DFT has a different structure. So there is no looping and branching shown in DFT. But in case of flowchart, when you draw a flowchart, there are loops as well as there are few conditions. There are branching. There is branching, right? For example, आप कोई condition लिखते हो, if a is equals to a is greater than 1, yes, no. In case of yes, okay, output will be shown. But in case of no, again the process will be iteratively running, right? कुछ इस तरह से फ्लो चार्ट में होता है. You all are very familiar with flow chart because you have studied flowchart in your programming subject in detail, right? That how to draw flowchart. So I'm not going in that detail of flowchart, but I'm just telling you the difference between DFT and flowchart. We will discuss about DFT here, right? Okay. So the remaining types of DFT, etc., we will discuss those types in our next lecture. Today we have discussed that what is DFT, right? And we have discussed its few symbols, that which symbols are used in making a DFT, and how to make it, and then what is the difference between DFT and flowchart. You must know the difference between those two, right? And DFT is very, very important tool for the development of software, for your designing of software, in fact, right? Whatever project you are making, your DFT will make it easier for you to make that project. How? Because in DFT everything is well defined in the form of a graph, it is in the form of figure, so you can check all the things one by one, and you everybody can easily communicate through DFT, right? It is sometimes difficult to tell the user by the design of system or software, but it become easier for the user to understand that diagram of DFT, that what your system is consisting of, right? So DFT is a very good communication tool between user and system designer. यूजर के साथ इजीली कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हैं आप सिंपली डीएफटी डायग्राम के थ्रू, बजाय इसके कि आप उसको अपना होल कॉम्प्लेक्स सिस्टम समझाएं, या फिर उसकी डिफरेंट डिटेल्स उसमें डेप्थ में जाएं। आप उसको सिंपली एक डायग्राम के थ्रू, सिर्फ एक डीएफटी के थ्रू आप उसको सारा स्टेप्स बता सकते हैं कि इस तरह से आपका सिस्टम वर्कआउट करेगा, पहले ये होगा, फिर ये होगा, फिर ये होगा, ठीक है? सो डीएफटी गिव्स यू अ वेरी perfect high level overview of your system, right? And it tells you in detail everything, that how your components are working, right? What is the functioning of different components, and how different components are linked to each other by different processes, right? DFT tell you this, right? You can easily understand all the processes with the help of DFT. That's all. We will discuss the types of DFT in our next lecture, and we will also discuss few examples of DFT in our next lecture. That's all. If you have any queries, ask me, class. Okay.